How you doing?
Joel, we were talking to William Joyce yesterday, and he said that he basically found out he'd won the job, I think maybe right before kickoff. Just how did that process go? How did you tell him? When was it? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he was telling a tale there a little bit because I think he kind of knew before that. But, yeah, he I mean, obviously, like we talked about, it was a pure competition all the way up through it. But we did have a plan going into the game. We knew how we were going to play him. And he did a great job for us, getting that short field goal at the start. I think that's a good start for him, made the extra points, and, hopefully it keeps going from there.
Is there a more exciting play in football than a punt return for a touchdown, in your opinion?
I don't know. It depends on who you ask. But it was pretty cool, that's for sure. Luckily, I've been a part of a few of those, which are always exciting, and usually it's a game changer like that one, and it was. It's a real credit to Vicari, but it's also a real credit to those guys blocking for him out there. We put a lot of emphasis on it during the offseason and throughout camp, and I thought it paid off right there. And it's a real credit when you think about Jalen was supposed to be the one that was returning that ball. So can't be more happy and more pleased with Vicari. I think one of the things that was great for him was, he had a rough spring, missed all that time, and came back a completely different kid, in my opinion. I mean, I think once you get some of that stuff taken away from you, and then you find out, hey, football's a pretty good deal. I think he was more focused and more motivated than I've seen him since I've been here, for sure.
Yesterday, I think Coach Beamer alluded to some of the guys who maybe let up on blocks or didn't, blow guys up and possibly get flags. How satisfying is it to you when you go back and see like several guys in the course of that play?
No question. It's something we call them finishing techniques, and those guys did a good job of executing it right there. Obviously, getting the punt that we got helps. Anytime you get one of those longer balls, you get a chance to get a return like that. A lot of times in college, that's one of the things that you don't see a lot of returns in college football, in my opinion, is because the punting probably isn't quite as good as it is at the next level. And, to be able to get a punt like that, we cashed in, which is great, and it helped us win the game.
How would you evaluate Mason's punting from Sunday?
I think it was okay. I think I'm expecting more from him just because I've seen him punt the way he's capable of punting all the time. He got lucky on a few of them, to be honest with you. Some bouncers that ended up going our way. I think he would tell you that too. But he's worked at it, and I think he's going to be on his way to being a really, really good punter, to be honest with you. But let's not go crazy. It's the first game of the year, and nobody gets any trophies after that and all that kind of stuff. So we got a long way to go and a lot of work to do in front of us.
You mentioned it was supposed to be Jalen returning those punts, and Shane said, I believe Sunday, that he had a little hamstring thing that kept him from doing both. When he's healthy enough to do both again, now that you've had that game from Vicari, how are you going to try to balance those two in terms of punt returning?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we'll have to talk about as a staff. We really haven't broached it because he's still kind of banged up with it. So we'll have to talk about that as a staff. That's more of a Coach Beamer question probably than it is for me. But, it's nice to have a couple guys back there that can do it. Jalen was still back there as far as like some of what we call defense stay or punt safe, to where you're playing with your defense on the field, kind of making sure you don't get a fake run on you, all those type of things. And decision-making was at a premium, and he did that for us in the game. So hopefully he's able to still keep doing that, and we'll go from there.
During warm-ups, I saw William go back to about 55. Is that kind of the edge of his range, and where would you guys feel comfortable putting him out there?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a game-time decision all the way through it. I really don't like to talk about, where their range is. You guys can see it when you're watching them warm up, but at the same time, it's not something that I'm going to tell you every week and tell you, hey, his range is this or his range is that. That's a competitive thing to me. And you didn't see Mason. I don't know how far you saw Mason go back because he was still hitting also during warm-up. So, we'll just have to see. And when we get to that situation, hopefully we'll put the right guy out there for sure.
As you say that, so is there an opportunity that Mason would kick a ball if it's deep?
I'm going to put the guy out there. I mean, it could be Max. Who knows? You know what I mean? I mean, we're going to go with the guy that we think can make it from there. I've been in that situation before to where we had a guy named David Treadwell. I know he's a Clemson guy, which is, blasphemy in this room, but he was in Clemson. We had him in New York, and didn't have the strongest leg in the world, but very accurate. And then we had a guy named Brad DeLuiso that was right behind him. That was a guy that was, had a cannon for a leg and ended up being a really good field goal kicker in the league. And we used them both that year. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a game-to-game situation and a play-to-play situation. So we'll see from there and go from there.
Is it almost kind of unfair to have a guy like Nick Harbor as a gunner on your punt team?
Yeah. I kind of was thinking about comps that I've seen, like places that I've been before. When you watch the kid at Ole Miss, the Metcalf kid, that's kind of the best comp I can think about because he was covering punts for Ole Miss during that time. I remember everybody talking about him, hey, man, this guy's going to be a great gunner in the league. And that was maybe one or two times, and then that was it, But, yeah, it's nice to have. The thing that is great, I think, about it is Nick's commitment to it. Like, there's plenty of times in that game, he runs a post, he does all that stuff, and he could have begged off him, and he went in every rep. So that's a credit to him, in my opinion. I was really pleased with the coverage part of it in the game, both punt coverage-wise and kickoff coverage-wise. Like, I thought we did some really good things from that standpoint and hope we can continue to do that because, to me, that's what it's all about is changing field position from a coverage standpoint more than anything else. Those returns are great, but you're not going to get those all the time. But you are going to be able to cover and try to change field position that way every time. Good? Thank you. Appreciate it.